Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena on behalf of Florida Prospects for the Diamond Division Championship game and the 11th annual Florida Prospects Holiday Invitational. Please welcome our guests wearing the black jerseys, visitors on the scoreboard. They are DME Sports Academy. And wearing the white jerseys, obviously home on the scoreboard at your host school, your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Let's meet the lineups for both teams. We'll begin with our guests from DME. And we will start starting at shooting guard, a 5'9" junior, number 1, Hilani Cantone. At point guard, 5'6" junior, number 3, Mary McMillan. At small forward, 5'11", sophomore, number 22, Isis Grady. At shooting guard, 5'9", senior, number 24, Anna Burney. And finally at power forward, 5'10", senior, number 33, Keani Moore. And the coach of DME, Michael Panaggio. And now let's meet your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting at guard with 5'5", junior, number 12, Briera Williams. At guard, 5'9", junior, number 15, Emmy James. At forward, 5'11", junior, number 21, Danisha Bowles. At forward, 5'8", junior, number 42, Erica Simmons. And finally for the Mustangs at guard, 5'8", senior, number 4, Sadie Payne. The head coach of the Mustangs, Mr. Tommy Butts, and assistant coaches Keisha Brown, Griffin, Latoya Russell, George Spearman. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando.
Hey, do we know?
Good evening to our online audience. Once again, welcome to Mustang Arena. My name is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, and I am joined by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief to take you through tonight's contest.
As always, Mark, thank you, and a great introduction. It's good to be back here at Mustang Arena. Of course, Mark, this is the very last game of 24, which make up the Florida Prospects Holiday Tournament, Christmas Holiday Tournament. And it's good to be back on the air. Of course, we were not able to broadcast all the games, but we always want to get the hometown team in here, Wekiva. And as you mentioned, of course, this is a championship for the diamond bracket. We just finished up the bronze bracket, which saw Lakewood Ranch emerge there as the champion. So far here in the early going, both teams have launched the tray. Neither have fallen.
Deja Payne can't get it, nor the putback. And the rebound goes to Mary McMillan.
So real quick here.
Mary McMillan to Hilani Cantone to put DM on the board.
And of course, these two teams played last year, Mark, if memory serves me correct.
Briera Williams for 3 on the pass from Deja Payne.
So far we've seen some real good interior perimeter passing. Both of them have been very fluidic and smooth. Not many of the shots going in, that is, until the last couple of possessions. Here you're seeing some more good passing there, getting into the transition game. First turnover of the game there by DME. Nice swipe there, a steal.
Annie James adds 2 for the Mustangs.
And that's important. Of course, Emmy James, sophomore, she burst onto the scene last year as a freshman. And she's one of the main cogs here for Wekiva. Does a little bit of everything, but Wekiva's always better off when she does get about at least 10 points.
Foul is called against number 1, Helani Cantone. Her first in the team's first. Checking into the game. Number 10, Channing Chapel.
So, Mark, of course, you've been here the whole tournament. And looking at these two records, her DME has pretty much gone through this tournament with relative ease. They beat Robinson by 77-59 score, and then Lakewood by 76-48 score in the semifinals. So they're putting up 76.5 points here per game. You're going to win most games when you put up that many points.
Second chance basket by Sadeja Payne.
And unlike Wekiva, DME has pretty much established a 10-point lead only a couple minutes into the ballgame and cruised from there.
Channing Chapel for 3.
Now, if you look at Wekiva, as we get a missed shot here, they actually beat West Oaks by a 72-49 score.
Emmy James with a long 2-point jump shot for Wekiva.
So West Oaks fell to Wekiva in that first round by 72-49 score. However, the final score does not really indicate what happened. Wekiva was actually down by a 29-20 score with about 3 minutes left before halftime. Coach Butts decided to go to a triangle and 2, and as I said, the rest is history. Wekiva went on a 19-0 run to take the lead, and of course, not only did they take the lead, but they built a fairly workable cushion. Then they came back and beat Jones by 52-42 score. That game was actually 22-22 at halftime, and Wekiva went on a 10-2 run at the beginning of the second half there. 4 or 5 field goals went down. They got much better shots and during that run, and of course, with that 8-point lead, they were able to maintain the lead from there on.
Push is called against Erica Simmons, her first, the team's first, and it sends Isis Grady to the line to shoot 2 for DME. And yeah, Neil, you mentioned that Wekiva kind of took until the second half to really wake up and pull away in the semifinal, and that has kind of been an unwanted hallmark of this season for Wekiva, that the first half has been kind of rocky, particularly the first quarter. It's almost like they have to wake up first, and I think that's something that Coach Butts has been focused on as he's been coaching the team between games, that you got to burst out of the gate early, especially with some of these teams that are as strong as DME.
Yeah, and of course, if you guys have not gotten a copy of the Apopka Chief, I strongly urge you do it. If, of course, you want to get some information about the tournament, I did write up a preview story this week. And, yes, I know I'm doing a little bit of advertising here, but also it is a preview about why these tournaments are held in the first place. They are to prepare teams for the postseason. Of course, Wekiva has made the playoffs 5 straight years now, the first time they won the state championship.
Foul called against number 10, Channing Chapel, her first, the team's first, and it sends Sadeja Payne to the free throw line. And yeah, Neil, just to ground our listeners with the context of what we're talking about here, This is the second most challenging division of the Florida Prospects Invitational. The Platinum division would be considered the highest bracket. The Diamond division is the second highest, and then there's also Gold, Silver, and Bronze.
Yeah, and Coach Butts, when I talked to him before the tournament for that preview story, flat out said that there's 8 teams in this field, and all 8 of them, it could basically be the same as an actual region of the FHSAA postseason tournament.
Isis Grady.
So each one of these teams are very much like Wekiva in the fact that every year they come into the season with high expectations of making long runs into that tournament.
Sadeja Payne to Alexis Choice, and that'll answer for the Mustangs. Bree Williams tips it into the hands of Sadeja Payne to take it away from Channing Chapel.
And so far, Wekiva's run here to the finals has really seen them have to there's been a very diverse style, complete opposite between West Oak and Jones, and that's exactly what you also see in the tournament. There's no one set style, although of course nowadays there's more up-tempo and outside shooting, but still how you create those outside shots varies from team to team, and they do vary from game to game once you get into the postseason tournament.
Alexis Choice is called on her first personal foul.
Another point here that we should make, Mark, we'll get
Kalani Cantone down the baseline for 2.
Is, of course, Alexis Choice has only played a handful of games over the last year and a half. She injured her knee, suffered an ACL at the beginning of last season. That would be the 2017-18 season. Missed the entire season and just came back about 4 or 5 games ago. I believe she's only missed, this is, I believe, her second game she started.
Yeah, she has been suffering injuries for a while, and so the Mustangs are happy to have her back, and now essentially a full-strength team. If you remember, prior to her, Etienne Holloway was also a much beleaguered player by injuries and lost a lot of her high school playing time in spite of being an outstanding player.
And, speaking of the devil, to use an old saying there, Choice was a very strong rebound there, getting her back and boxing out.
Bree Williams for 3.
And again, good inside-outside passing to get Williams opened up there on the perimeter. A 16-12 lead now. And this has been a very fast-paced game, Mark. Of course, as I just mentioned, nowadays up-tempo is the style most teams play. A lot more perimeter shooting. You think of just basketball being that way in general, starting with the Golden State Warriors in the NBA. But this game has been really, even for today's game, very fast-paced, at least as far as getting the shots off.
Here's a nice-looking steal by Bree Williams. An opportunity to score in transition, but no, she's going to travel. Traveling called against the Mustangs. DME ball checking into the game for DME. Mary McMillan and Anna Burney. Blocked by Madeline Touze, and DME will reset, take a 3. Cantone is off the mark, and Touze gets the rebound. She goes to Bowles. Bowles is going to collapse and go to the ground, and we're going to get a held ball, possession DME.
So again, another strong rebound, this time Touze coming up with it. That last shot, I'm talking about the last DME possession, when Cantone missed that three-point field goal attempt. Not a very well-executed one, to be honest. Didn't even catch rim. It was all backboard. And now, of course, Wekiva has been in a 2-3 zone. They went 2-3 zone the entire game against Jones last night after going, like I mentioned, the triangle and 2 against West Oaks.
And Alexis Choice gets in the way of that one. Kayla Langley is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. Foul called against Alexis Choice, her second, and the team's third. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Emmy James and Nikki Butler.
So DME still has an opportunity to cut this lead down to 1 possession. Although you'd have to get the 3-point play as opposed to the 2-point play. And as you mentioned, Mark, Choice now has 2 personal fouls. So she's not really in any danger yet, but she does commit another foul. Then you're looking at 3 before halftime. And again, a third consecutive really strong rebound there. Denisha Bowles coming down with it. Shania McCarthy.
Traveling DME ball.
And unfortunately, Wekiva has not been able to really extend their lead during these last 3 or 4 possessions. They've had the opportunity, a couple of turnovers. They'd only committed 1 turnover until the last 2 possessions.
Rebound by James. Mustangs have 20 seconds to do something.
And now Wekiva setting up for this last shot of the first quarter here. Opportunity to get that lead back up to 2 possessions. 2 3-point field goals.
Hold is called against number 33, Kiki Moore. That's her first personal foul, the team's third. And that was on the floor, and we're nowhere near bonus yet, so the Mustangs will take over at the DME baseline. 5 seconds to get something done here before time runs out on this quarter. Shania McCarthy does it. McCarthy from Emmy James.
Beautifully executed there, Mark, as we go into the first break here. Bounce pass and caught McCarthy and caught perfectly passed there. Who scored that last? Shania did score.
We'll be right back here at Mustang Arena. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the second period.
So, Mark, as we come back to looking over the stats here, Wekiva certainly has dominated in field goal attempts. They've taken 17 compared to 10 by DME. DME only converting 4 of the 10, and they're 2 of 4 at the free throw line. Wekiva is 7 of 17. So neither team shooting the ball particularly well. However, the more field goal attempts you take, the more likely you are to score points is in effect. Wekiva, 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Rebounds are 9 apiece. DME, though, Wekiva does have a slight advantage over DME in turnovers. 3 difference, 6-3. And, of course, now both teams have started the second quarter with the turnover.
Yeah, traveling in both directions, and so now Emmy James will set up the play for the Mustangs.
And like I mentioned, Wekiva, I don't believe it was the last 2, but the 2 before those last 2, Wekiva turned over the ball on those 2 possessions.
Foul called against number 24, Anna Burnley. Her first, the team's third.
So 2 possessions in a row in which Wekiva turned the ball over there during the last minute and 15 seconds or so. Wekiva had only turned the ball over once during the previous 6 minutes and 45 seconds. That's how they came up to 3. Nonetheless, they did score off of 4 of the 6 turnovers by DME. So there's really your difference as we now have a 20-12 lead. Both free throws good. Nice stroke there. Nice stroke there at the line by Bowles. So again, Mark, this is the Diamond Championship bracket. And as we mentioned, this is really a tournament that Wekiva holds every year with the intention of preparing the team for the postseason tournament. All the teams, of course, have expectations of long runs into the tournament, whichever class they're members of. One other thing, though, I did not point out is that this was very critical for Wekiva to come out and perform well in this tournament because they lost their last game before the tournament to Father Lopez. A very disappointing 38-37 loss. And in that particular game, Wekiva actually had a run at the end of the first half, if memory serves me correct, 12-2, and they went in with a 10-point lead, and they wound up giving it up. They came out in that second half, played very, very poor, turned the ball over a number of times. As a matter of fact, I believe the first 5 or 6 possessions, they turned the ball over, and suddenly what was a 10-point lead evaporated. And as Coach Butts pointed out, and you had mentioned this too earlier today, a slow start, that game began with Wekiva turning the ball over 3 times in their first 4 possessions.
Foul called against Nikki Butler. Kiki Moore from Kayla Langley.
Nice bounce pass there off the inbounds. Well executed, and that was really why DME was able to score.
Five seconds closely guarded. DME ball.
And again, good defense here by DME, and the key to that, obviously, it was good defense when you force your opponent into a 5-second violation. But the key is that the ball was now allowed to be dribbled back up the court along the sidelines. Good support help there, coming in, cutting off that secondary angle.
Offensive rebound for Chapel. We'll give another chance here to DME.
As I mentioned at the beginning of this quarter, both teams have rebounded the ball fairly well, both with 9 rebounds in that first quarter.
Isis Grady on the pass to Kayla Langley. And that closes the lead to 4. 3 from Bree Williams won't go. Rebound to Channing Chapel. 3 from McMillan won't go. And Sadasia Payne, with remarkable speed, manages to chase down that rebound and goes coast to coast. Not able to get it to go in, though. That Emmy James is going to give the Mustangs another chance. That is a hallmark of the Mustang tradition with Sadasia Payne's speed. She comes out of nowhere and is able to cover distances on the court that you wouldn't expect. Nikki Butler is called on a hand check. That's her second and the team's fifth. Checking back into the game for the Mustangs, Tanisha Bowles.
So Wekiva's failed to score on on 4 consecutive possessions now, and they've yet to make a field goal here in the second quarter. Both their points were scored via the free throw.
No full court pressure on this drive for the Mustangs. Moore looking for an option. She'll go outside to McMillan. Nothing there. Back to Chappell on the other side. To McMillan. She goes up to the key, takes a layup, and it's too hot. Rebound goes to Sadeja Payne. And throws the ball away out of bounds.
So 5 consecutive possessions now. And again, Mark, we talked about this just a couple minutes ago. Wekiva came out of the second half and had a stretch there of like 5 or 6 possessions in which they failed to score, and their 10-point lead evaporated. We're seeing that now, not at the same time, but the same result here. DME has an opportunity to cut that lead now down to 1 possession.
Gonna get a deflection here from Sadeja Payne. Still stays with DME though, and an open inbound. Helani Cantone to Isis Grady. And with that, the Mustang lead has nearly evaporated, down to just 2 points.
Yeah, and again, that's the 3rd time during this DME run that they've scored off inbound passing.
Emmy James with a jump shot from the corner of the key.
Stop.
And that I think the Mustangs needed very badly in terms of momentum.
Yeah, stop, pop, and drop, but it also right the ship, steady them as far as being able to get back to doing what allowed them to take the lead in the first place.
And you see Emmy James tapping her chest here as she knows what she did. Push is called against Emmy James. That's her first personal foul. The team's 6th at the line, shooting to Isis Grady. You don't want to have too many unanswered possessions in a game like this, particularly with an opponent like DME. And so that jumper by Emmy James, they think, was critical. Grady misses her first free throw here. Shania McCarthy back into the game for the Mustangs.
And Wekiva's actually caught a break there at the line. DME is only 2 of 5, so they've left 3 points on the board, on the table, so to speak.
One of 2 at the line. It's a 3-point ball game.
And again, those 3 points, you'd have a tie ball game. Oh, another break there.
Yeah, Chappell nearly took it away from Sadeja Payne. She's able to keep it under control, though.
To be honest, Chappell should have had that. She stopped her motion with her arms.
Shania McCarthy is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. DME foul is called against number 33, Kiki Moore. That's her 2nd personal foul, and the team's 4th.
McCarthy. So again, if you've joined us for some of our previous broadcasts, Shania McCarthy is only a freshman. Along with Madeline Touze, they are the freshmen on the team. And you're seeing why. One thing that freshmen don't often do, just simply because of their size or maybe even just being intimidated, they don't drive to the lane very often. McCarthy is a driver.
0 for 2 for McCarthy. A missed opportunity there, but Sadeja Payne gets a steal. Tries to go coast to coast, waits her turn, can't get it to go. Fights for the rebound and gets it. Well, maybe not. Burney ultimately comes up with it. Long assist, and it's good. Anna Burney, coast to Kiki Moore in transition. I think the Mustangs were so concerned with the rebound, they didn't have anybody back. And Kiki Moore was able to capitalize on the Mustangs being out of position in transition. Bowles from the baseline, short. Kiki Moore, probably the tallest girl on the court right now, comes down with the rebound. Down to a 1-point ball game. A chance to go ahead. It won't go for McMillan. Payne on the rebound. Sanasia Payne is fouled on the floor. The foul is called against number 24, Anna Burney. That's her second personal foul and the team's fifth. Checking into the game for DME, number 44, Dream Eason. And for the Mustangs, Madeline Tuzet. Bowles with a wild three, and nobody's able to chase that one down.
And now Wekiva's going man-to-man full court here on defense.
DME with another go-ahead opportunity here. Cantone looked like she maybe wanted to think about a three, but she didn't take it, and instead she's going to get called for a double dribble violation. Mustangs ball.
And DME is actually, in the meantime, playing a box and one. If you're not familiar, that basically means 4 players line up like in an actual box, each one playing a corner in the paint, and 1 player plays man-to-man.
Williams unleashes a three, doesn't go, and it's going to go out of bounds. They're going to say that's off of DME.
And Wekiva's only converted 1 field goal attempt here in this entire period.
Well, there's 2. Erica Simmons on the jump shot. She must have heard you talking about her.
Well, they caught a break there with the ball going out of bounds and touching DME last, and they take advantage of it. And now they create their own break here with a turnover, going full court pressure. Unfortunately, they can't turn it into points, which they really do need here.
Madeline Tuzet is called on the foul. It's her first personal and the team's 7th. That will put DME at the free throw line. Mary McMillan shooting 1-on-1 bonus. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Emmy James.
So again, DME is only 3 of 8 at the line here in this first half.
In for DME, number 5, Jade Westbrook.
Again, some points left on the table there for DME. They'd actually be leading if they could convert a couple more of those free throws.
McMillan hits her second as well. 15 seconds to go here as Emmy James tries to get things set for the Mustangs. Bowles can't get the jumper. Payne on the rebound. One more chance. That won't go either. And that takes us to halftime. It's a 1-point ball game. 24-23 is the score at intermission here in the Diamond Division Championship game. Don't go anywhere. We'll have halftime recap for you in a moment. have black ball?
Today you got how many? Today you got 0. Okay. Madeline? 1, 3. Emmy?
Here are your halftime stats, beginning with DME. Mary McMillan has 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Channing Chappell with 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Kiki Moore has 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 block shots. Kayla Langley has put up 2 as well, with a rebound and an assist. Helani Cantone has 5 points and 1 rebound and 1 assist, and Isis Grady leads her team for the first half with 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. As for the Mustangs, Alexis Choice, 2 points and 2 rebounds. Erica Simmons, 2 points on the board as well. Shania McCarthy with 2 points and 2 rebounds. Denisha Bowles, 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Sanasia Payne, 4 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Okay, I was right the first time. And also for the Mustangs, Bree Williams with 6 points and 2 steals. Annie James, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. That takes us to our halftime score of 24-23. The Mustangs with a razor-thin lead going into the locker rooms. For those of you listening online, we'll be back in about 6.5 minutes to wrap up the Florida Prospects Holiday Classic. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the third period. And welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you again. Foul's called against number 1, Helani Cantone, her second personal foul. And Alexis Choice hits her first.
So taking a quick look here at the stats, Mark, one thing I can say about DME is they are consistent. They wound up 8 of 20 from the field, which is 40%. That's what they shot after the first half. Wekiva unfortunately went down. They were only 9 of 29, in particular 2 of 10 from the three-point field goal, and that's something to keep an eye on. That's kind of always been part of their bread and butter.
Helani Cantone for 3 from Mary McMillan.
Both teams with 17 rebounds, although Wekiva has an 8-4 advantage on the offensive end. And as I mentioned several times during that first half, DME left some points on the table at the free throw line. They did actually get 2 of 2 on their last opportunity, so that improved their free throw attempts to 5 to 8. Wekiva was 4 of 6. And another major advantage Wekiva had was in the turnovers. Of course, in a low-scoring game like this, there's only a 4-point difference, but that is a big difference. 11 to 7, DME with the 11, Wekiva with the 7.
Kiki Moore is called on her third personal foul of the push. It's the team's second. And so that three-point basket they got at the other end was enough for a go-ahead, and that is their first lead of the game. As Bowles loses the ball to a turnover.
And now Wekiva opens up in their 2-3 zone, which they've played the whole game. And now we're going to get a turnover, a bad pass here. And Wekiva still cannot convert. They had that problem in the second quarter, as we mentioned.
Shot missed by Bernie there, and Bree Williams gets the rebound.
So again, going back to that 9 of 29 field goal shooting by Wekiva, they converted only 1 field goal during that second quarter.
Who's it on? Who's foul on? Foul's called against number 22, Isis Grady, her first personal foul. Strike that, Anna Bernie.
So Wekiva converted only 1 field goal and scored 5 points in that second quarter. And we're going to get another turnover here.
Grady to Helani Cantone.
Again, not taking care of the ball. And Coach Butts has seen enough. He's calling a timeout. Not the kind of start you want. As we mentioned before the tournament, Wekiva played Father Lopez, and they gave up a 10-point lead at halftime right as the second quarter, or the third quarter started. I believe their first 6 possessions they failed to score, and 4 of them were turnovers.
So the Mustangs request a full timeout. And we'll pause and come right back. Welcome back to live action here at Mustang Arena. DME springing to life here in the second half, and the Mustangs struggling. Backcourt violation. Mustangs ball. And so that one, I don't know, it was tough for me to see from here. The referee had a better angle on it than I did. But nevertheless, that was an unnecessary risk by DME.
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
not good positional awareness.
No. DME has opened up this quarter, second half, scoring the first 5 points to take the lead.
Block is called against number 3, Mary McMillan, her first, the team's 4th. And they will also consider that a shooting foul. They're going to say that Choice was going up on that. Alexis Choice at the line shooting 2, hitting her first.
So as I mentioned when the quarter started, not a lot of free throw attempts, 14 total. Wekiva, however, has now taken 4 here at the start of this period, and they've missed 3 of them.
So DME remains with a 2-point lead. Over Bowles' head. And they're going to say prior to the shot, I think, is how the foul is going to get called. Alexis Choice is called on the foul prior to the shot.
Oh, 5:33 left in the third period.
Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Nikki Butler. And so I think the controversy there was whether or not it was a shooting foul, and the ruling on the floor stands that it was the foul occurred earlier than the shot took off from Kiki Moore, so Kiki Moore is not entitled to any free throws for that. So the Mustangs could have done worse there. Isis Grady spins for 2.
A nice move there by Green, obviously, when she got it in, but was able to get the defense going in the opposite direction.
Bree Williams for 3 from Bowles.
So we have not seen that inside-outside passing since the first quarter. And again, you see how lethal it is when they execute properly.
Sadisha Payne picks it off, out maneuvering Helani Cantone. She'll take a fading jumper from the baseline, can't get it to go. Rebound goes to Moore. Grady too hot. Bree Williams is fighting for it, and they're going to give it to Bree Williams on the rebound.
So both teams have missed field goals on their last attempt, their last possession. Make that 2 possessions now. DME pulling down the offensive rebound there. Good technique.
Is that 10? 3-point basket by Channing Chapel.
And there's why you see offensive rebounds are so critical, Mark. What could have been Wekiva with an opportunity to regain the lead, instead are trailing by 4 points, 2 possessions. And that's also a big momentum builder for DME.
Bowles goes inside, finds Butler in the key, and she's got it. Bowles to Butler. That's 2 good assists in a row for Bowles.
Yeah, and that was just simply Butler using her strength there. She shouldered up on the defensive player and went to the bank.
Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Madeline Touzé and Shania McCarthy. Channing Chapel fading away with the three. Won't go that time, and Sadasia Payne gets the rebound, and she tries to go coast to coast, and she's going to get blocked. Block is called against Mary McMillan, her second personal foul, the team's fifth. Sadasia Payne will shoot two.
So opportunity to tie the ball game.
It's her first. Erica Simmons in for the Mustangs. Kayla Langley in for DME. Second free throw is a miss. McMillan gets the rebound. Chapel can't get it to go from under the basket. Putback made by Kayla Langley.
Who?
Bad roll by Bowles. She is able to get away with it, though. She'll take a three, and it's well short of the mark. But she's able to get in there for her own rebound, thanks to some help from Erica Simmons. Payne's going to try to take it all the way herself. Not able to get it. Simmons can't get the putback. Tuzay can't get a putback. And finally, McMillan gets the rebound.
4 opportunities here for Wekiva.
The initial call is a charge, and we're going to get a discussion from the officials.
2:27 left here in the third quarter. DME holding a 35-32 lead. They've outscored Wekiva by an 11-8 count here.
We've got an officials huddle here as they try to confer and decide whether it was a charge or a block. Channing Chapel fell spectacularly. The question is, was she legitimately charged or was she putting on a show? Unfortunately, we haven't paid for the upgrade for instant replay yet, so.
So who's the foul on?
So it's 10 black and who whites?
4 and 10.
So if you didn't hear that, we had a double foul called. Wekiva keeps possession of the ball because of the jump arrow. And again, still cannot convert those field goals. 2 more are missed.
Mark, who is the last foul on?
Sadasia Payne is called on the Mustang foul, her second. They called it on white 4. I have no idea why, because she wasn't involved in that play, but that's what they said.
They got 2. He called the last one on.
Wekiva remaining in a 2-3 zone. They've gone with that the whole game, except for a couple of possessions where they went full court man-to-man.
Traveling Mustangs ball.
And Wekiva catches a break there with the turnover.
Full timeout is requested by DME. And we'll take this opportunity to take a break. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. DME takes the time out there, and we've got still a close ball game. I don't think it's been more than about 4 points different between these two teams since halftime in either direction. Right now, DME has the lead. We had a very confusing foul situation a moment ago that was ultimately ruled a double foul. Although I'm still not entirely sure how Sadeja Payne came out with a foul in that. I think it might have just been that two fouls coincidentally happened at the same time. There was a charge, and then independently of that, there was a block, and then independently of that, there was also an offensive foul.
Wow. And it looked like there was a lot of hands making contact on that rebound.
Kayla Langley is fouled on the putback attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for DME. The foul is called against number 4, Sadeja Payne. That's her third personal foul. And it's the team's 4th.
So these are only the first and second free throw taken in this quarter by DME, and there's 1:21 left. Is that 12 at the line? 32.
Checking in for the Mustangs, Alexis Choice. So the Mustangs will switch out 3 of 5 players during that series of free throws. Now Williams, James Bowles, McCarthy, and Choice on the court.
It's the largest lead that DME has had during the entire game. They didn't lead until early here in the third quarter. And again, Wekiva's gone very cold since about halfway through the second quarter. At halftime, they'd only shot 9 of 29, and I'm sure that percentage has gone down as they've only converted 2 field goal attempts.
And an ill-advised jumper from Bowles there. A fading jumper. Number 22, Isis Grady, gets her own putback.
Who got that? 22. Who?
22.
Blocked by Cantone. McMillan gets the rebound. More shenanigans happening on the other side. Bree Williams can't get the layup to fall. Held ball, possession DME. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Sadeja Payne, and for DME, Anna Burney.
What was the call?
What? Kayla Langley gets the basket, and the Mustangs ask for a timeout. What kind of timeout is this? Full timeout requested by the Mustangs.
32 to 41.
Oh, yeah. Mustangs have the ball at their own baseline with 1.9 seconds left. A curious decision there by Coach Butts. I mean, he has plenty of timeouts left, but to take a full timeout as almost as if it was the end of the fourth quarter, not the end of the third. Not really sure what we gained by that, but nevertheless, Sadeja Payne's three is off the mark, and that takes us to the end of the third quarter. In that quarter, DME outscored the Mustangs 18-8, and that gives them a 41-32 lead headed into the final period of our championship contest. I'll be right back. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the fourth quarter. And they're going to open with a turnover.
And as you mentioned, Mark, Wekiva was outscored 18-8 in that fourth quarter, and certainly a case of all the statistics bearing that. DME's improved in all of them. They are now 11 of 23 from two-point land, so just under 50%. Wekiva, 8 of 33. They've gone below 30%, and now they're getting Wekiva held an advantage at halftime in rebounding. And now DME actually regained that advantage.
Anna Burney from Mary McMillan for three.
So 33-26 in rebounds. It actually was 17 all at halftime. And Wekiva actually only committed 3 turnovers in that third quarter. However, points were scored off of all of them.
Push called against Sadeja Payne. It's her fourth personal foul, the team's fifth. And since Coach Butts is kind of desperate, he's going to have to leave Payne in the game in spite of her 4 fouls. Out of bounds, Mustangs ball.
So Wekiva desperately needs to refine that touch they had there in that first quarter. Going way back to that first quarter, we talked about how Wekiva has been, so far this year, one of their characteristics is they don't shoot the ball well at the beginning, and they make some mental mistakes, namely turnover, and they fail to get rebounds. They came out doing the opposite today, but since about midway through the second quarter, DME has been the one who's been playing well.
Foul called against number 24, Anna Burney. That's her fourth, the team's seventh. Basket by Emmy James is good. She's at the line shooting for the three-point play.
So, and again, in a situation where Wekiva needs somebody to step up, make a play, and they get it from Emmy James there on that transition opportunity.
Tanisha Bowles back in for Wekiva.
So back under 10, 9-point lead now with 6:43 left. And that's really the first goal, Mark. You want to get that lead down to 10 and then cut it in half to 5.
Mary McMillan is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. Foul is called against Alexis Choice on the block. Her 3rd personal foul on the team's 6th. And so that means neither team has a foul to give now. We'll be shooting on every defensive foul for the rest of the ball game. Double miss from McMillan. She tries to get in there and get the rebound, though, and she does. Bree Williams rebounds after the missed 3 from Bernie. And now she's going to try to set up the play. Mustangs working with 6 minutes and 13 seconds, and they need to make up 9.
Yeah, and that's a good start there. Wekiva, although they did actually catch the break there. And there's what we've been seeing all game. As I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, Wekiva only turned the ball over 3 times, but all 3 turnovers resulted in DME points. And they also take the opportunity for Wekiva to score away.
We're going to get a loose ball foul on the rebound. Foul is called against number 33, Kiki Moore. That's her 4th personal foul. The team's 8th. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Madeline Tuzet. And at the line, shooting 1-on-1 bonus for the Mustangs, Alexis Choice. First, coming back in for DME, number 32, Kayla Langley.
So opportunity to cut that lead even further, all the way down to 7 points now.
Wekiva desperately needs these 2 free throws. First one is short. So there won't be a second one, but an offensive rebound. Isis Grady is fouled on the putback attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Madeline Tuzet, her 2nd and the team's 7th.
And that really is a summary of the second quarter, at least half of the formula. Just offensive rebounding there. Wekiva just was boxed out, did not put a body on green, and now she's at the line.
Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Deja Payne.
She made both free throws.
And so now we have something of a danger zone going here. Each team has a player with 4 fouls in the game. Deja Payne for the Mustangs. Anna Burney for the DME. Kiki Moore also has 4, but she's not on the court right now. Out of bounds, DME ball. And Isis Grady, it wasn't a traditional steal, but she did cause that turnover to happen as we get Nikki Butler back into the game for Wekiva.
And have not mentioned it throughout the game yet, Mark, but this is, Wekiva has won 5 straight championships for this Holiday Classic. That's obviously in danger right now, and quite frankly, their play since about halfway through the second quarter does not look like a championship effort.
Double dribble, Mustangs ball. So Wekiva gets a break there. They still need to make up 11 points in 5 minutes.
And, Butts did mention, well, again, going back to the preview story I wrote last week, that Wekiva had won 8 in a row before losing to Father Lopez. Butts said we could still play much better, and you're seeing it now. Wekiva's made a lot of mistakes. Now, DME does have something to do with that, but still, Wekiva's made a number of unforced errors since halfway through the second quarter.
Deja Payne gets a layup, and the Mustangs will request a timeout. 30-second timeout called by Wekiva. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Wekiva doing a little bit of damage to the DME lead, and they'll have a chance to do a little bit more here as Isis Grady is called for traveling. Mustangs ball.
And during that timeout, this really is the last opportunity for Wekiva. Only 4.5 minutes left. Coach Butts gave the team the business. Couldn't hear exactly what he was talking about, but you could hear it was a very fiery speech, the kind of speech that coaches give when they're not happy. Again, like I said, a lot of unforced errors.
Kayla Langley steals 2 for DME.
And no sooner as I'm explaining that, we get another turnover and an easy 2 points for DME. They reestablish the 11-point lead.
Foul called against Kayla Langley. That's her first and the team's 9th. Nikki Butler at the line.
So now under 4 minutes, Mark, 3:49 to be exact. And really, again, it comes down to the basics. If Wekiva's going to win this, they have got to go 3 minutes and 45 seconds without making any unforced errors. There's a great start.
Alexis Choice from Shania McCarthy. Yeah, turning that into effectively actually better than having made both free throws.
Yeah, that essentially was a 3-point play there.
And so it cuts the lead to 8. It has been as high as 11. Channing Chapel is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for DME. The Mustang foul is called against Nikki Butler. That's her 3rd personal foul and the team's 8th.
And of course, as you've mentioned, Mark, the fouls have added up. We got a number of players now with at least 3 fouls. Both teams are going to be shooting the bonus the rest of the way.
In fact, they'll be shooting double bonus.
Neither team shot the ball particularly well from the free throw line. Ooh, that was an ugly field goal attempt. I'm not sure what exactly was going on there. Bad decision, too. It really was not set up.
Kiki Moore.
And there's also been another part of the game, too, Mark. Every time Wekiva gets a couple of baskets and they're on the verge of putting together some type of run to have an impact on that lead, DME makes a play and snaps it and regains some momentum as well as the lead.
Foul is called against Isis Grady. It's her first. At the line shooting double bonus is Emmy James. Checking in for DME, Helani Cantone. Missed one, made one?
Yep.
"30-second timeout requested by Wekiva. right, the Mustangs have just one timeout left. DME has 4 of theirs, and we are headed to the home stretch here. Not out of reach for the Mustangs yet, but something remarkable is going to have to happen pretty darn fast.
Yeah, we've seen a number of players step up and make those proverbial plays they have to, but they've not been able to stop DME on the other end, and there's another example of it.
2 offensive rebounds in a row, and now a block called. I think that's going to be against Choice. Push is called against number 24, Alexis Choice. Is that 4 or 5? Is that 4 or 5? It's 5. Okay. It's her 5th personal foul, and she retires from the game with 6 points and 2 rebounds. Erica Simmons is in the game for her, and Kiki Moore will be at the line shooting 2.
So the lead is now back up to 12. Wekiva had gotten it down to 7 about a minute and 15 seconds ago.
Push is called against Mary McMillan. That's her 3rd. The Mustangs are in double bonus. Shania McCarthy at the line shooting 2. And DME so far has hit 12 of 18 from the charity stripe. Wekiva has hit 10 of 18. So both teams leaving some points on the table there. Not an abysmal performance, but still. McCarthy hits her first. Traveling, Mustangs ball. I think Coach Russ wanted her to get called for an out-of-bounds end line violation. She got called for traveling instead. I don't suppose it really matters.
The bottom line is Wekiva's got the ball, and they need as many
And they're going to score with it, too. Shania McCarthy on the inbound from Emmy James. Still 9 points to make up, and under 2 minutes to do it.
Yeah, and now if you ever needed to come up with a defensive play, it's now. Again, throughout the game, every time Wekiva makes a couple of strong plays on the offensive end and makes inroads into that lead, they give up an equally bad play on the other end, and they do it yet again.
And Bernie with a putback. Yeah, nice block there by McCarthy, but then the putback, nobody was there to clean up.
And there you see another reason they're losing, rebounding on the other end, just not strong, not getting underneath the basket.
3-5. Is that 5? Yeah. 5. Block is called against number 33, Kiki Moore, her 5th personal foul. She retires from the game with 8 points and 6 rebounds. Checking in for her is Kayla Langley. Sadasia Payne shooting.
So was that a foul on the rebound? She fouled in order to get the rebound? Okay. So it was actually an offensive rebound. Who's at the line? McCarthy.
Payne 1 for 2 at the line. Back to a 10-point game, and you can't be trading a free throw for a field goal. That's just not going to get the job done. Push is called against Kayla Langley, her 3rd. At the line, shooting for the Mustangs, Erica Simmons.
And to be And to be honest there, Mark, that was really a bad decision by DME. They have everything in their favor, including the fact that Wekiva is not shooting, including the fact that Wekiva would have needed 4 or 5 seconds to get that ball up the court.
Channing Chapel in for DME, Madeline Tuzet for the Mustangs.
Of course, I guess in the end doesn't really matter. No harm, no foul there.
Yeah, Wekiva shooting 50% from the charity stripe, 12 for 24. You put those 12 points on the board, and Wekiva has the lead.
Yeah, so again, I think this game is pretty much over here as we're going to get a foul and some free throws. There's about half a dozen statistics which you could look at from the Wekiva viewpoint and say if we had just reduced those, it'd be a much different feel, a much different game right now.
Erica Simmons was called there on her second personal foul, the team's 10th. Bree Williams into the game for Madeline Tuzet, and at the line shooting is Mary McMillan. Also in for the Mustangs, Tanisha Bowles, and DME will send in Anna Burney.
So again, looking at those statistics, obviously free throw, as we just mentioned, but also offensive rebounding and turnovers come to mind too. Wekiva's going to actually have less turnovers, but of Wekiva's
Sanasia Payne on the jumper.
But of Wekiva's 15 turnovers, I believe DME scored on 13 of them. So they basically gave away points. Not only did Wekiva hurt itself by taking its opportunity to score points away, but also by fouling, by giving DME opportunities to score.
Emmy James is called on the foul. Anna Burney will shoot double bonus.
And of course, Mark, with 32.7 seconds left, Wekiva's streak of 5 consecutive championships for this event, the Florida Prospects Holiday Classic, is going to come to an end.
Emmy James is called on her third personal foul. At the line shooting double bonus, Anna Burney. Jade Westbrook in for DME.
So again, I think I screwed up when I was talking there about the turnovers. Not only did Wekiva stub its toe, take away opportunities to be able to score, but you're giving DME opportunities. So again, as we get ready here to get to the end of the game and sign off, just at the top of my head here, looking at what I got here, turnovers come to mind when you can look at the stats that were the difference, as well as offensive rebounds and free throws.
That takes us to the end of the ball game, and it's a 59-47 victory for DME against the defending Diamond Champion Mustangs. right, ladies and gentlemen, we have some hardware to hand out, and we'll start with the all-tournament team. And we'll begin with a representative from the Mustangs. Today, she double-doubled with 10 points and 11 rebounds and has a strong performance in each of the games in the Florida Prospects Holiday Classic. It's number 4, Sanasia Payne. For DME Sports Academy, we also have a couple of nominees for the all-tournament team. She had 3 points and 10 rebounds in today's game. However, in the semifinal round, she also put up 13 points and 2 rebounds and 2 assists and 2 steals. Did well in the quarterfinal as well. Number 3, Mary McMillan. Also being named to the all-tournament team from DME with 10 points in yesterday's game, and then turning in an outstanding performance today with 10 more points and 5 rebounds, number 1, Hilani Canton. And that leaves us with our tournament MVP for the Diamond Division. Today she had 13 points and 6 rebounds. And yesterday for DME, she put up a double-double with 13 points and 12 rebounds. It's number 22, Isis Grady. And now let's give out the team hardware. We'll begin with our 5-time champion and now still getting to the very last round of a very prestigious bracket with some outstanding competition all the way throughout. Your 2018 Florida Prospects Diamond Division runners-up, your Wekiva High School Mustangs. And finally, with outstanding victories in this contest over Robinson and Lakewood, and now Wekiva, 3 top state teams perennially, your 2018 Florida Prospects Diamond Division Holiday Classic champions, DME Sports Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out tonight and all 3 days of our Florida Prospects Holiday Classic. Thank you for spending part of your holiday with us. Thanks also to those of you who tuned in online. For those of you here in the arena, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. For those of you listening online, have a safe trip to wherever you're going and have a wonderful new year. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Good night.